Sometimes it takes a while before we react. At first, we are so surprised, perhaps even overwhelmed, that we cannot immediately express what is happening inside us. I think everyone knows that feeling. Something great happens, something deeply moving, and only hours or even days later do we realize what has actually taken place. That is how I imagine it must have been when Jesus entered Jerusalem. In today's impulse, we read, as he was drawing near the descent of the Mount of Olives, the whole multitude of the disciples began to rejoice and praise God with a loud voice for all the mighty works they had seen. One small phrase especially catches my attention. They began. The disciples had already witnessed Jesus' miracles. They had seen the sick healed. They had heard his teaching. They had watched people find new hope. And yet it is only now that we are told they began to praise God with a loud voice. Perhaps this was the moment when everything finally came together. Perhaps only now did they fully realize who it was that was riding before them on the donkey. Sometimes the heart needs a little more time than the mind. That thought encourages me. Perhaps there are people who have heard about Jesus for years, but are only now beginning to understand what he means for their own lives. Perhaps there are Christians who have walked with him for a long time, but are only gradually discovering how great his love truly is. Better later than never. What matters is not that we begin as early as possible. What matters is that we begin at all, to begin believing, to begin trusting, to begin giving thanks, and to begin giving Jesus the honor he deserves. For it is never too late to begin.